Hi guys, Eric Pathy here at PickDogs.com. As you see, I'm in Costy's office. We're doing this recording with Big Al as I'm back from Boston. We missed yesterday's video and because I was traveling. Got in the car, Al, at 8 in the morning. Stopped at Sally's on the way down. Sent you some pictures of Basset Hounds and pizza. I don't know if you watched the video of the Basset Hounds and the pizza. I'm going to rate the pizza. Wow. So I'm gonna rate the pizza. Maybe it was because they opened at 11 in the morning and we were second in line. We got one pepperoni, we got one cheese. I'll rate it 7.5. My son,
Okay, that's okay.
my son rated it probably equally with me. His mother, my ex-wife, was with us. She rated it as like a 5. She thought it was really overrated. Interesting, different perspective. She thought it was extremely overrated. And I do think that places like this, and I'm sure you agree as a foodie, you are a declared foodie, a lot of these places play on their name, right? It's just like the first,
Yeah, I
let me
mean,
just give you the backstory. We drove up Friday morning to Boston, dropping my daughter off at doing a summer class at one of the universities up there. We get there on the way. It's 1 in the afternoon. There's a line around the block. People are waiting 2 to 5 hours to get this pizza. We're like, absolutely not. We left. I told you we bailed. We went to Boston. It's in New Haven, Connecticut. And then we left Monday early and we drove back. And then we were second in line. So, I mean, and then by the time we left, there was a projected line out the door, 90-degree weather for another 2 to 5 hours. I mean, I'll do anything, but I'm not going to sit there for 2 to 5 hours. Admittedly, I pulled up at 10:58 and I was in there at 11:01.
yeah, I mean, I've waited uh, over 5 or 6 hours for Franklin barbecue in Austin, Texas. I'm trying to think where else I've waited in line for
Disappointed or
food.
satisfied for the
Oh,
experience?
Franklin's amazing. I mean, and there's lots of good barbecue in the hill country in Texas. I mean, you don't have to wait 5 or 6 hours. I mean, you can go. There's so many good places, in the hill country that you can just. But yeah, Franklin's great. I think for my taste, New Haven pizza is not necessarily my favorite.
Right.
But if I was there, I would have got the white clam pizza. I wouldn't have gotten pepperoni.
I get it. I get it. And there was
You
a guy
know,
next to me eating it. Um, but it's funny because my mother's from Brooklyn, and I was raised on New York Brooklyn pizza, going up to see the grandparents, and I gotta I literally said to my son, I like the oil dripping off the pizza. I like the grease. This was clean pizza. This New Haven pizza. You know what I mean?
yeah. You know where there's a great New York style pizza is in San Diego. Believe it or not, this place called Bronx Pizza
Interesting.
is one of the best New York pizzas I've ever had.
I'll give you a sports betting story. Before sports wagering was legal here in Maryland, I was in LA, and then I drove down with my cousin to San Diego, and then we crossed over, and I made some bets at Caliente on Calle Revolucion Street, and then one of my clients years late, because he lives in San Diego. This is back in the day. Said you had to be very careful as a big bettor because they would have spotters spotting you, part of like the
Hmm.
crime syndicate in Tijuana. They see guys going in there betting 5, 10,000 a game. They forget they're in Mexico, and then they walk out. They get clocked over the head when they collect their money. So if you're watching this and you wager it in Mexico, be very, very careful showing your money and your tickets. 5 hours, Al? You really stood there? Not with the kids. This was
I
alone,
mean,
right?
no, this was by myself, or actually, I did it once. I went down with some friends, on a San Antonio Spurs trip. I would generally crash in Austin rather than fly into San Antonio, and then I would just drive from Austin to San Antonio. But yeah, I've done Franklin probably 3 or 4 times where I've waited 5 or 6 hours in line.
So there was a guy behind us, and they were doing the baton strategy. It was like a group of frat brothers going back up to one of the MIT, Harvard, or whatever. And what they did is they basically like one guy would stand for an hour. They would all go to the coffee shop or take a walk, and then another guy would come back to hold the spot, and then they would cell phone each other as they're moving up and getting closer. They had the whole strategy down, but they do.
Yeah, I don't like when people like hold spots. I think if you wait in line, you have to be there. You can't just join your friends. But that's
Well,
just my take
admittedly,
on it.
I'll tell you, admittedly, I did it on the way back because there was no line and I didn't wait. Admittedly, I was texting you and Carrie and the rest of the Pick Dogs crew that was interested in, because I don't know if you're aware, Mitch was a big New Haven guy, Connecticut, that type of pizza. And when I went down the first time and stayed at his house with Costi, Carrie and Mitch took us on a whirlwind of these New Haven, Connecticut pizzas in Boca and Del Rey, and it's amazing. There's a lot of them down there in Florida.
Yeah, well, they have, maybe it might be my favorite pizza place in the country is in I think Carroll Gardens in Brooklyn, but they've got an offshoot down where Carrie lives. I want to say it's in Miami, called Lucali Pizza. So if anyone's in the Miami area, they should go to Lucali. Lucali. It's out of Brooklyn, but I think it's the best pizza in the country.
So, in
Um,
addition to sports betting information, guys, we're going to also give you food advice. But no, that's why I missed yesterday's video. I was traveling back. Um, I'm going to go back and get my daughter. Admittedly, this time when I go back and get her, it's a ticket up and a ticket back. I told her we're going to do the Southwest. I did the driving thing once. I only need to drive from Baltimore to Boston one time or once each way. I'm done. I'm cured. I'm flying up and I'm flying back, so there'll be no stopping at any pizza joints on the way back. With that being said, I was going to ask you before we get into your WNBA complimentary selection, and before I tell you guys you can get the rest of July and August absolutely free when you text me to subscribe to the All Access and get rocking and rolling before we get into football on August 23rd. I wanted to ask you, as I see this Summer League lines being put out in the NBA, a couple people have asked me if you do this. I don't know if you do, and if you don't, the answer I'll ask you is why.
I don't, because I don't.
Fair enough. You just think it's not a good quality. It doesn't. Your systems don't help
I
you
I
with this.
mean,
It's not.
it's I've got no data on it. I don't want any data on it. I will wait for the start of the NBA season. I mean, this isn't even preseason. This is summer league, and I also don't do preseason NBA.
What do you think the reason they created that is? Just to keep the fan base and the marketing going?
I think so. I mean, it's been a long time since they've had it. I mean, I remember when Tim Duncan played in the summer league, and Greg Ostertag outplayed him. I think Jermaine O'Neal did too. So, I mean, this has been going on for. I mean, I remember it back when Tim Duncan was a rookie. So it's just. I mean, it's fun. It's marketing. It's entertainment. I'm not betting on it.
Yeah, you're not going to go to Las Vegas to watch a Spurs game in the summer league, are you?
I thought about it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but I've never done it.
And so basically, correct me if I'm wrong. None of the main players are playing in the summer league, or am I wrong?
No. And
Okay.
a lot of times the rookies, like the star rookies, might only get a few minutes in a game or these are players who a lot of them will, you know, they're last year's rookies, or there's guys that are, going to be in the G League. I mean, it's all sorts of stuff. So no, you've got no desire to bet on these games.
So for all you guys asking me, because we know that Al's on the top of the leaderboards in basketball, and you get excited because you see the G League. I mean, not the G League, the Summer League. The answer is no, because no. With that being said, I know you got a complimentary selection. Let's talk about it. To be or not to be, Caitlin.
Yeah, we've had, I think, a few complimentary selections lately on the Indiana Fever, so why not have another one? We don't know if she's going to play. The current line is Indiana -6.5 against Golden State. For me in this game, I just want to go against Golden State. They happen to be playing Indiana. When you take a look at what Golden State has done this year, Eric, they're the expansion franchise, and they've been great at home. 8-2 ATS at home. On the road, not so great. 3-5 ATS, including 0-3 ATS if their opponent is off a point spread loss, which Indiana is. So we're going to take Indiana minus a 6.5, whether or not Caitlin Clark plays. Of course, if she plays, the number's going to be higher. If she doesn't play, it's going to be lower. But we'll lay the 6.5 right now. And also, this game goes at 12 noon Eastern time.
Got it. 9
So,
a.m. Pacific.
So I'm sure a lot of people will be watching this video after the game is already over.
No, actually, we released the video at 11 o'clock at night, overnight. You have a lot of fans that are watching right when they
Correct.
come out.
But I'm sure a lot of people will load the video at 4 p.m. and they'll be finding out right now that the game is over.
So if you guys want to get action in real time and you missed this complimentary selection, text me to join Big Al's All Access. Or as always, head over to the premium side on the website at pickdogs.com to purchase his daily selections. And as always, good day and good luck.